length times width, height, the base? What does this all mean? Ugh.
It's okay. There's help. There's a free online software called SketchUp that will help you with your math homework.
SketchUp?
Alright folks, today we're going to do some measurement in SketchUp. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find SketchUp. It's the little icon here that looks like 3 stairs. We're going to click on that. We're going to get a window that pops up, and on the bottom right we're going to see start using SketchUp, so we're going to click that. So we're just doing some measurement today. I'm going to do a short introduction and show you some of the basics. So first we're going to click the right click on the toolbar. We're going to add, I'm going to show you how to add a tool. So we're going to right click and click customize toolbar, and then all the tools that we're able to add to the toolbar come up. And we're looking for the protractor, which you'll find up here on the top right. Just going to click on that, and we can just drag it right onto our toolbar just like that. That's all we need for now. We're just going to click done at the bottom right. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to teach you a bit about orientation. So we can see we're fairly zoomed in on our guy here. We're going to click the magnifying glass at the top, middle of the toolbar there. We're just going to click the screen and then pull down on our mouse to zoom out and push up to zoom in. So I'm just going to zoom out a bit here. Next I'm going to click this rotating orbit tool, as it's called, and then once I click I can move up and down to change my orientation, left and right as well. So I'm just going to line it up so I have a good view of the green axis and the red axis, because we're going to be making a rectangle using the line tool next.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, so we're going to first make a rectangle using the line tool, which you'll find up here on the left side of the toolbar. And we're going to make a line. We're going to start with a line of length 5 meters. So as you can see, the line that I'm making is green, and if I stop moving it, it says it's on the green axis, which means it's parallel to it, which is what we want to do. So I said we're going to make it 5 meters, so all I'm going to do is hit the number 5 on my keyboard. And you'll notice that at the bottom right here, the length will change to 5 when I do that. And if I press return, it'll make a line of length 5 meters. And it's trying to make another line here, so I'm just going to hit escape. And I'm going to go to the cursor tool on the top left here. I'm going to right click on my line. I'm going to click entity info. And I can see here that my line length is 5 meters. So we can use that to check the length of any lines that we make. So I'm going to go back to the line tool and make the second line in my rectangle, starting from this end point here. And I see that the line is red now, which is what I want. It's on the red axis, which is perpendicular, to the green axis. And this time I want a length of 3 meters, so I'm just going to hit 3 and hit return. And that it looks a bit longer. It's just the way the view is oriented. We can change it again here to see that it looks a little more like we want it. We have 3 meters as the width and 5 as the length. We're going to continue here and just finish our rectangle. Starting here, we're going to make another line of 5 meters, make sure it's on the green axis, and we're going to press return. And now we're going to make our last line, which just connects these two, and we can see again in our bottom right corner there the length is 3 meters, which means we do in fact have a rectangle. Okay folks, next thing we're going to do, I'm just going to adjust my view here. Again, I can use the hand at the top to drag the working platform. Give myself a little more space there, and now I'm going to go up to the arc tool. You click that. Make sure it's just on regular arc, because the drop down menu gives you a few options there. We're going to make a circle. To make a circle, we're going to click in the middle to find our midpoint, and then we're going to pull out. We're going along the green axis here, and we're going to make a circle of radius 3 meters. So I'm just going to hit the number 3 on my keyboard and click enter, and that will make my second point here. I'm just going to trace around now without clicking until I get all the way back to where I started, and then I'm going to click on this point. You'll see that it says full circle, and we've got ourselves a circle with radius 3 meters. So I'm just going to show you how to make an angle now, just a regular old angle. We're going to go back to our pencil tool here, the line tool, sorry, that looks like a pencil. And we're going to make just a regular old line over here. Let's try not to make it connect with anything, just a regular line. Make sure it looks black, because if it changes colors, it's trying to connect with the other planes and shapes, and it's not going to work well for you. So we've just got one regular line there, and we're going to make another one coming off of it. Make sure it's black again. And then we're going to go up to our protractor tool, which we added earlier, and we're going to use that to measure the angle we've just created. So to do that, we're going to click the vertice, or the where the two lines meet of the angle we're trying to measure, and then we're going to go out to the end of one of the lines, it doesn't matter which one, and we're going to click to the end of that point, and then we're just going to move our mouse, and we can see as we do that the angle in the bottom right is increasing. Once we make it all the way to our other line, we see that our angle here is roughly 129.1 degrees for the angle we just created. Alright folks, so we've made a rectangle, we've made a circle, and we've made an angle. We measured the angle. Next thing we're going to do is make some 3D shapes. So we're going to make a rectangular prism out of our rectangle. To do that, we're going to go up here to our push/pull tool. Just going to click on that, and we're going to just click on the surface of our rectangle, and we're just going to start pulling it up there. And we can see again at the bottom right, our distance from where we started is at 4 meters right now, but I want the height of this rectangular prism to be 10 meters, so I'm just going to stop dragging it and type in 10 and click return. And I now have a rectangular prism of height 10 meters. To double check that, I'm just going to go to my cursor tool. I'm going to click on one of the lines on the side here, go to entity info, and I can see that the length of that line is 10 meters. So I in fact have a rectangular prism with height 10 meters. Now we're going to make a cylinder out of our circle. So we're going to go back to our push-pull tool. We're going to click on the surface again, and again we can see the height or the distance increasing as we increase the height. We're just going to make this one 5. Type in 5 on your keyboard and click enter. And now we have a cylinder with height 5 meters.
You're good.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to find surface area and volume of the 3D shapes that we have created. So as we know, the surface area of a rectangle, or the area of a rectangle, sorry, is length times width. So we know the measurements of our rectangle, but we can use the measuring tape tool found in our toolbar, or the tape measure as they call it, to find the length of any of our lines in SketchUp. So we're going to start on this end point here, and we're going to find the length of a rectangle. Just drag it across the line here, and we see that it says 5 meters there. So we know that our length is 5 meters. We're going to hit escape, and we're going to start again on this endpoint to find the width. And we just stop moving it, and we see it pops up as 3 meters for our width. And to calculate, so length times width, 3 times 5, we have an area of 15 meters squared. Now moving on to volume, we're going to start at the end point here, and we're going to measure the height again, just to make sure. And yep, we have 10 meters as our height. So the volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. So we're going to multiply our area of 15 meters squared by our height, which is 15 times 10, which equals 150 meters cubed. Next, we're going to measure the radius of our circle. So we'll start with the point on the outside there, and we'll go into the center. And we see that our radius is 3 meters, as we recall, but we're using our measuring tape just to double check. And we'll stay at that same point, and we will measure the height down to the bottom there, and we see that our height is 5 meters. So we have radius of 3 meters and a height of 5 meters. The area of a circle is pi r squared. So we're going to sub 3 into that, and it's going to be pi times 9 for our area. And then the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times height. So our volume is going to be pi times 9 times the height of 5 meters. So it'll be pi times 45 meters cubed for the volume. We're going to move on to making another shape. This one's a little more tricky. This time we're going to go at a pyramid. So the first step is we're going to select our line tool, and then we're going to go along the green axis here again. I'm just going to do a length of 5. We'll type in 5 there, click enter, and then we're going to make another line. We'll go along the red axis, make sure it's perpendicular. Type in a 5, hit enter, along the green again, 5, and then we'll connect it, and we know we have a length of 5 there, to make ourselves a square with side length of 5 meters. We're going to click one of the vertices, and we're going to make a diagonal line across to the one across from it. We're going to do the same thing over here. And now we have a square with an X through it. We're going to introduce a new tool called the Move tool, which looks kind of like a compass rose with the lines pointing in all directions. And we're going to find the center of our square where the two diagonal lines meet. We're going to click on that, and we're going to pull up. And we want that that blue line locked in, because that says that we are along the blue axis, which is perpendicular to the plane created by the red and the green axis, which means our pyramid will be straight. And once we do that, we're going to let go, and we've just made ourselves a beautiful pyramid, which we can admire in all of its glory from every angle using the Orbit tool. Alright folks, that's all for today. I hope you feel a little more comfortable with measurement in SketchUp. I've been Andy Crafting, and if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe below.